continuing coverage of the rash of pirate attacks off the coast of Somalia and what, if anything, to do about them. The Defense Secretary Robert Gates says he does not see any need to beef up U.S. military response to pirates. Colorado Congressman Mike Kaufman wrote a letter to President Obama calling for the president to put U.S. troops aboard merchant ships in dangerous areas. Really? Then there's Texas Congressman and former presidential candidate Ron Paul. He's proposing an idea that has not been used since the War of 1812, and that is let private parties, I should say, go after the pirates themselves. Earlier today, Congressman Paul explained why he's suggesting such a thing.
There's no way our Navy can do it, and once we do get involved, I mean, then there's ramifications from that, because right now, after having killed those three, it looks like things will be ratcheted up.
Well, Congressman Paul wants the government to issue letters of marque and reprisal. They allow private parties to seize enemy ships and take their contents. Sound familiar? It would basically be the same as piracy, but it would be sanctioned by the government, and in theory, the actions would fall under the laws of war. Here to talk about that is constitutional law attorney Conrad Claus. What do you make of this, Conrad?
This is about the third time that Ron Paul has brought up the same ridiculous suggestion. He's already brought up bills before Congress, and they've been shot down twice. And for good reason. There's economic problems with it, there's strategic problems with it, and there's simply moral problems with it. It's reprehensible what he's suggesting.
You know, well, hang on. Now, if you have a security problem and you own a business, you hire security. Isn't it the truth that these people have made purely economic decisions? Purely economic. There is a cost-benefit analysis which has gone on, and it said the chances that we're going to get hijacked are infinitesimal, and as a result, we're going to pay our insurance. We're not going to have armed guards on there, but they could.
Absolutely. They could have armed guards depending upon the particular institution we're talking about. Right. But on top of that, the only way we can fund essentially private pirates is through either taking the goods of the already operating pirates in the field, which isn't going to pay because they're typically undercapitalized, or instead by paying reward money. And in that case, if we're going to pay for an operation through reward money, why don't we go with the U.S. Navy, who are professionals and aren't going to embarrass us internationally?
You know, the Defense Secretary has said this problem has to be solved on the land before they get to the sea.
I'd agree. There's significant economic issues in the countries that are supplying the population for this piracy. But that also leads to a problem legally, and that is a letter of marque and reprisal is reprisal. It has to be directed against a foreign country that has provided us with some means, some what's called the casus belli under international law. It means that they have done something to us. It's a cause of war. We essentially, at that point, are entitled to engage in open hostilities with another country. You don't name private citizens. A letter of marque and reprisal names a specific country that you're directed to operate against, and also an area and a time and other operational parameters. That's really difficult here. Pirates don't list themselves on the cast of the Pirates of the Caribbean. How do you know who's a pirate? It's not like they run a skull and crossbones or anything like that.
Yeah, they look like fishermen when they come up next to you. I just wonder, along the way, if there isn't something, if most of the onus of this shouldn't be on the shipping companies themselves. And then in the end, if because of the fact that you don't have security out there and bad things happen on your ship, you wonder how far the United States military should go. Because to get dragged into something in Somalia, I mean, we've been down that road, and it was ugly.
Mm-hmm. It is, and that becomes problematic. But frankly, I think our citizens do have a right to expect to be protected by our military. If there's a problem, the military handles it. We just saw that. Our military is fully capable of handling these problems without bringing in a bunch of mercenaries that are poorly trained and not operating under proper constraints.
All right, good of you to be here. Thanks very much.